So the top comment from last episode says, I'm all about that budget life, and it actually got 357 upvotes. It's not an interesting comment, so I'm just gonna read the one under that. The one under that says, I was quoting what I said in the video. Just look at how beautiful she looks from the back. That's what she said. And then actually the comment that's responding to that, I've never seen anything so beautiful on all fours. I've also said that in the video when I was talking about the cable management from the back. I purposely made it sound sexual, and I'm surprised not a lot of people got that for some reason. Maybe I've got underage audience, I don't know, but yeah, that was purposely said in a sexual way. So I'm glad somebody actually noticed it, so yeah. And oddly enough, the third comment just says boobies. Okay, yeah. Anyways, guys, welcome to Setup Wars, episode 146, where you submit your desk setup to get featured on the channel. If you guys want to participate, you know what to do. Watch the video linked down below. But with that said, let the Setup Wars begin. This video is sponsored by World of Warships, who reached out and asked me to try out their awesome game. It's a tactical game where you team up with other players and go head-to-head online against enemy warships. You can command a massive naval fleet featuring some of the history's most iconic war vessels, and you get to unlock new ships as you progress through the game. They've spent a lot of time making the game look awesome and realistic. Each ship is very accurate to the real thing. And since launch, they've added over 200 ships across 8 different nations and racked up over 7 million players. It's free to play, but if you guys download using my link in the description section, you can get some awesome goodies like 1,000,000 credits, 3 days of premium access, 250 doubloons, and more. It is, however, only available to new users, and you have to use the code listed on the screen. Kicking off the show is Adam from Canada and his insane Zelda themed setup, which actually takes some inspiration from the channel, judging by the custom made risers that's holding up the countertop. I gotta say right off the bat, I'm a fan of the white on white color scheme as well. I mean, there are other colors in there that add some contrast, like the blue risers, the mouse pad, and even the colorful Black Ops Zombie soda perks on the top. So not everything is white, but I do appreciate the overall consistency. So the purpose of the setup is for console gaming, which is interesting considering he has 2 monitors and no TV. He's also using a MacBook Pro, so I'm pretty confident he uses the setup for productivity as well. Otherwise, this is definitely overkill just for console gaming. I mean, he has 4 different headsets hanging from the top. We got 4 ASTRO A50s, 2 for the PS4, and 2 for the Xbox One S. That is some serious brand dedication right there. I do have to say that the setup has a lot of personality, that's for sure. The consoles on the left all have Zelda skins, and even the 5-piece mural painting on the wall is Zelda themed. Well, specifically Link themed. One of the things I really love about the setup is the lighting. Adam did a fine job balancing it. The Nanoleaf panels on the top not only represent the Triforce from the Zelda series, but it also contributes to the color scheme that he's going with. And the icing on the cake has to be the individually lit sodas in the center. He basically hooked up an LED strip behind each one of them to give it that extra glow. I've seen this many times on the show before, so it's not really unique, but it's definitely a great idea. Some of the other tech that Adam has on his setup are the PS4 VR set on the right side, which has its very own charging dock for the controllers as well. Adam's setup is very OCD friendly. I mean, everything is nicely organized, it's symmetrical, and the cable management is just beautiful. 2 Signum racks holding up everything and a bunch of zip ties to group the wires together. I mean, this guy's so organized, even the cables inside the drawers are wrapped up nicely. A beautiful and organized setup with lots of personality. I think Adam did a great job overall putting everything together. Thank you for entering. Next up is Antoine from France and his multi-setup. So the first one features the ultra-wide, is actually used for gaming, while the second one is used for music production and overall productivity. The setup on the left side of his gaming one is actually his roommate's, and you can tell it's pretty lame compared to his. I mean, even the cable management is like 10 times worse. You know, I think it's time you introduce your roommate to Setup Wars. It might change his life, or at the very least, his setup. Alright, back to the gaming setup. So he's rocking the Ducky 1 keyboard and the Logitech MX518 mouse. I actually like those custom keycaps. It looks like it's transitioning from white to black, and I think it looks pretty cool. For audio, he's using the Edifier R1700BT bookshelf speakers, and he's also got the knob sound amplifier, which is hooked up to his Audio Technica M50Xs. Next to those are the SteelSeries Siberia gaming headset, and finally a blue Snowball Ice as his microphone. It's an interesting location, sitting on top of the speakers, but I'm guessing he brings it closer to him when he needs to use it. The PC powering the setup actually has workstation parts, which I found odd, seeing as the first setup is used only for gaming. I don't think I've actually ever seen anyone use a cooler for their RAM sticks, but I guess it looks a lot cooler than showing up that ugly green PCB. It looks like there's a total of 4 setups in this room. 3 of them are powered by PCs, and then there's a media setup in the middle of the room that has Kodi installed and 2 massive floor speakers. Another thing that caught my attention is this shelf dedicated to Assassin's Creed collectibles and some keyboards and mice. You know, I've always wanted to play Assassin's Creed, and I've been reading so many bad reviews about the entire game franchise, and at this point I don't even know which one's good or which one's worth playing. So any fans out there that's played the entire series, let me know which one's good to play, that's worth my time, that I might enjoy in the comment section, because I think it's ready to dust off my PS4 Pro. Some interesting choices on the hardware and placement of certain items, but overall a solid setup with purpose. Thank you, Antoine, for entering. At number 3 is Daniel from Canada and his dual monitor setup that he uses for video production and schoolwork, but mostly for gaming. He's rocking 2 different monitors that are hooked up to a desk mount. I'm actually surprised that he was able to fit 2 displays and his PC on the desk. It's very compact, but everything is organized and spaced out very well. The keyboard and mouse are both from Corsair, and so is the headset chilling on a stand. He actually has 3 other headphones, the HD 598SR and the M50Xs, which are hanging underneath the desk. We also got the Sony headphones, which are stored in one of the drawers. Other than the headphones, the other source of audio are the Logitech Z623 speakers. It's obvious the color scheme of the setup is black and white, and Daniel did a fine job keeping with it. The skins on the M50Xs, the Omni-mount cable sleeve, even the phone case, and pretty much the entire PC is all in the same color scheme. It's pimped out with an i7 6700K, 32 gigs of RAM, and the MSI 1080 Ti with a sexy backplate from V1 Tech. He also painted a few parts like the side radiator and the PCI brackets. Nicely done. This is a really clean setup. All the wires are managed very well, and I like that he used a couple cable sleeves to help him out with the PC wires and pretty much everything else underneath the desk. It's a really balanced and organized setup. Thank you, Daniel, for entering. At number 4 is Henry and his insane triple monitor gaming setup, featuring 3 different monitors that are hooked up to the Carlby countertop. I really like seeing super wide tables like these because it gives you so much room to work with and be creative, and the tabletops from IKEA are built really well that you won't get any bowing in the middle, even if you have 3 monitors mounted without any support in the center, just like Henry. Below the monitors, he's got the Corsair K70 Lux keyboard with the Zowie White Edition mouse and the HyperX mousepad. For audio, he's rocking the M50Xs with some D-brand skins once again. There's a lot of M50Xs in this episode, apparently. We also got the Blue Yeti blackout microphone that's hooked up to a boom arm behind the monitors. Very nice placement with the mic. The PC providing all the juice is packing an overclocked 6700K. We got 16 gigs of RAM and the EVGA 1070 superclocked GPU. I think your top fan isn't working though. You might want to check that out. But I do like the consistency of the color scheme throughout your entire setup. Great work with the cables underneath the desk. It looks like the Signum is holding up most of the wires, and you even attached a power strip using some 3M tape. No complaints here other than your headphones just laying on the desk, but overall it's a solid, badass, and clean gaming setup. Thank you, Henry, for entering. Wrapping up the episode is Will and his very clean and sophisticated productivity and music production setup. Tell me this shot of the setup doesn't give you guys an eyegasm. So damn clean. Alright, so the setup is being powered by a late 2013 Mac Pro and a single 27-inch LG 4K monitor. One of the benefits of having an off-the-wall setup like this is that you're able to put stuff behind your desk without having to worry about taking space off your desk or not having any space at all to work with. In Will's example, he took full advantage of this type of setup, placing 2 massive JBL speakers and a Yamaha subwoofer on the ground. Obviously, there are some drawbacks going with this style. For example, the main one is cable management. You don't have that support of the wall to hide the cables in between the desk. But Will actually did a great job with his. He basically tied all the wires together and ran it down the center of the leg, underneath the subwoofer, and straight back into the curtains. The rest of the wires and the power strips are hidden behind the Alex drawer and the trash can, it looks like. I would say this was executed perfectly, and I'm even impressed that he was able to mount that Focusrite AI underneath the desk. It actually looks like he drilled it into the desk. I'm not really sure, because I was gonna say there's no way he used Velcro or 3M tape to keep that beast up there. It's way too heavy. This setup is obviously for music production, which means he must have a few headphones laying around. I'm always curious to see what headphones people use for music-related setups. So, looks like he's got the Bose QC35s, which are actually really comfortable and sound great. I actually have a pair. He's also got the Beats Solo Wireless 2, the Sennheiser HD380 Pros, and of course the Apple EarPods. I really like the selection here because he pretty much has audio for every occasion. Some of the stuff he's got on the desk are his Apple keyboard and trackpad, the MX Master 2S mouse, and of course the skinned iPad Pro. I would say this has to be my favorite setup from this episode. I'm getting that calm, relaxing, productive vibe. It's very clean, and I think that Will did an awesome job putting it all together. Excellent work, and thank you, Will, for entering. And that pretty much wraps up this episode of Setup Wars. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Let me know by leaving a comment down below on which of these setups you thought was the best, and I'll announce the winners on my social media platforms, specifically on Instagram. Make sure to follow me there if you guys want to. But anyways, that does it. Dropping a like would be awesome if you want to show your support for the series. I love your chins, and I will see you in the next one. Chins?